Now there's no sun to reflect any light from or of, and these things are glowing. That means that there are entity clusters on those parts of those stacks. That's what that means, because they should not be glowing at all. It's dark and there should be no glow. There are no lights. There is no sunlight either, and these things should not be glowing. Just going to zoom in and show these two and then the other two. Now you can see that that is not a natural glow. That's a light source, but the light source is emanating from the stacks. That light source is those entities on the stacks, and the light source is emanating from them, because there is no sun to have a reflection and there are no lights to cause any kind of glow. The glow is coming exactly from these entities. You can see that the glow varies. Some places it's more, some places it's less. That just means that there are more active entities in one part of the stack, or on one part of the stack, than another. You can actually see that that thing is glowing. Look at this one. Notice this one is different. I'm just gonna back off because they know I'm filming them, and they blur the camera every time I film, and they're aware that I am filming them. I have to back up more. Okay, so here's a good shot. Now those things are glowing in the dark with no lights, no sunlight and no lights, not even moonlight. There's no moon. No, that's been dissolved already, because they make up the moon hologram and they've dissolved it. There's no more moon hologram. They only have it when they want to. Now look, I start at the bottom. And they know they're being filmed, so they're blurring the camera by putting more entities in front of me and them, and they cause the blur. Look at that. You can actually see the clusters moving in between me and the stacks. That means they've piled them on into the atmosphere right in front of me. Now look at those things. There's nothing wrong with the focus. The focus is okay. It's just that the number of entities creates a blur, because there's so many of them between me and those stacks. Watch. You can clearly see that they're all glowing, and there's absolutely no reason why they should glow, because there's no light. You can see where they're glowing more and where they're glowing less. Look at that, that's like a beam right there. You can actually see the beam. So if the light was coming from somewhere else, it would continue to the top. It should not stop right there before it reaches the top. And it should be the same all over, not lighter or less some places and more in some other places. And it should not stop all the way to the top. It should go all the way up. And you can see they don't want me to film it. That's their way of telling me don't film. by just blurring the camera. And it's not the camera that they're blurring, they're just putting more of them in the way so that I can't see. Now look at the difference in the light coming from one and then from the other. And it's totally dark. There's no light anywhere around them, yet they're glowing. How come? Yeah, they don't want me to film at all. I'm just blurring by putting more organisms in front of the camera. Okay, it's obvious that there's an intelligent mind behind all of this. This doesn't happen by accident, and they don't create the blur by accident. So they obviously know I'm filming them and are blurring the camera, so I have to back off. They don't want a close-up of what they're doing, that's for sure. But there's absolutely no reason for them to glow. There's no light anywhere around them, and it's dark out. Okay, look at them glow. There's no light on top of the building of any sort, and yet the four stacks are glowing. How come? As you can see, there's nothing wrong with the focus. It's them that are creating the blur. So, definitely intelligent, no doubt about it. There's an intelligent force behind that whole thing. So that's another hard to explain thing around here. How come they're glowing at night and there's no light source anywhere near them? And how come they know when I'm filming them to distort the camera focus by placing zillions of organisms in front of the camera? So I have to back off. And you can't see anything when you want to close in on them. And this camera is well capable of closing in right on top of them. And there is nothing at all wrong with the focus. That's just zillions of them in the way. Every time they do that, they expend a lot of energy, so they can't hold that forever. They can't blur the camera forever because they just use up all their energy, and they're very conservative about how they use energy. So eventually they have to let me film because this camera has a lot of batteries. That's the reason I bought it, and they can only blur the image for so long. After that, they're mine. And take a good look at both of them. And you have a unnatural glow at night, and it's now 9 o'clock. Actually, it's after 9 o'clock at night. And the blur effect is not because of the camera or bad focus. It's just the amount of entities between me and those stacks, because they don't want me to see or film whatever is going on those stacks. But at least you can see that they're glowing, and it's nighttime. There is no light around them. There are no lights on them, and there is absolutely no reason why they should be glowing when it's dark out. So, another unexplained thing. Actually, I can explain it, but nobody believes me. When it starts happening to you, then you're gonna believe me. You can just see the zillions of organisms that are in the air, not just the ones that are on the stacks causing the glow, but just the zillions of them in the air. So many, you can't count them. And I just can't understand how people can't see them, because I see them all the time, all over, without the camera or anything. There you go, glowing stacks with no evident light source whatsoever. The light source is the organisms themselves. Thank you for viewing.